Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And make sure to hit that like button because this season preview, you're going to see a lot of new guys. So first, let's look at our schedule. So remember when I said that, I wanted a tough schedule. I wanted to play at least one rivalry game. So we're keeping Southern Miss up there. But at the end of the schedule, we're actually going to put Texas A&M at the bottom. So we're going to play a SEC school and see how we do. Because, we want to make this challenging. So I'm making it so we do play Texas A&M to round out the bottom of this schedule. So looking at our offensive and defensive coordinators, you see that we only had about 3 upgrades per coach. So right now, John Beeson is at level 4 and Steve Smith is at level 4. So we're actually going to move up the power moves and finesse moves to +4 now. So his skill is maxed out for that. And then moving over to Steve Smith Sr., you see we had upgraded +6 to injury and +50% to stamina. So I'm actually going to up this, and I'm probably going to make it, I think I want to make it so that our guys our quarterbacks are more accurate. So +1 throw power, +1 throw accuracy for our quarterbacks. So that is what these guys are going to look like going into this season. Remember, we're not upgrading anything for the head coaches. So after going 4-8 last season, we are now at 52 overall, 52 offense and 55 defense, still in 1 star. We are preseason ranked at 117. It's about probably where I expected to be preseason ranked, strictly because we didn't have a great season last year. It wasn't it wasn't like an absolute terrible. It wasn't Texas State like, because Texas State, look at that, they're 124 and they're 74 overall. You'd think they would be better, but they are ranked below us after that poor season last year. So no surprise here being ranked at 117. So now let's look at our conference outlook and where we're projected to finish the conference. So we're actually projected to finish ahead of Texas State, 5th in our division, and kind of where the same thing that happened last year, where Troy actually went to the conference championship last year and they did lose, but Appalachian State is projected to be on top. Arkansas State is actually projected to be on top of their side. And they actually have a pretty good team. 83 overall, 75 overall for Navy, 79 for Louisiana here. They won the conference championship last season. South Alabama, 79. Middle Tennessee State is 84, and I'm projected them to actually be way better than what most people think, because they have a lot of returners on their offensive side of the ball. Appalachian State should be good as well, but I think that that's a team that's probably going to shock a lot of people in the conference, and that's a team that we have to look out for. So going into this next season, there are a few guys that actually didn't go pro. Remember, when we first started this dynasty, it was a mixture of the 2018 rosters and the 2017 roster. So Lamar Jackson still stayed. So he's projected to win the Heisman here in season 2. Larry Roundtree for Missouri, he's projected as 2nd. A.J. Dillon from Boston College, he's 96 overall as a sophomore. He's going to be pretty good. But, the guy that I'm actually projecting to win it in real life in this college football season in 2018, Khalil Tate. He's going to be good. He's an all-around guy, and he's going to be a junior this season. He's going to have a great year for Arizona. And then Sam Darnold rounds it out at quarterback there, 97 overall. So looking at our preseason all Sun Belt team, I'm not sure if we have any guys here that are first team preseason, but look at Frederick Billups. There's our first one. Frederick Billups, he comes in at 63 overall this year. I expect him to I want to see him reach double-digit sacks. I think it's a good goal for him. He's pretty solid. He's the highest awareness guy on our squad right now, so it's going to be good to see him there, and I hope he actually does make the first team all-conference. And then both of our senior safety, Darius Terry, he's a preseason all Sun Belt guy as well. 67 tackles last year. He had a forced fumble too, and then 5 tackles for losses. And then Cedric Granger's probably going to make the biggest leap, I think. He's coming in at 69 overall. What a jump he made. 54 tackles, 13 tackles for losses, 5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. That's an all-around great season for him last year, and he's going to be building off of that. So let's look at second team. Let's see if we have any second teamers. And going down this list, I don't see anybody yet. There one goes. Ryan Marshall, 64 overall. He's a junior. and he had a pretty good season last year. 56 tackles, 2 sacks, 10 tackles for losses. He still had less than Cedric Granger, surprisingly. Granger was all over the field. So now let's get into some practice highlights. Let's get into a preview of this season. Who's going to start at quarterback, who's going to start at running back, and our receivers. I mean, all around, we're going to have a different looking offense. So let's get into some practice highlights. So starting out at quarterback, Keshawn Curtin, 6'5", 248, coming in as a redshirt sophomore. He's going to have a big task on his plate. Lead this team as a young quarterback, and that's something that we haven't had. Remember, we had 2 seniors last year. Emilio Garcia and Marcus Milam were both seniors, and having Wesley David kind of behind him as a redshirt junior, I'm going to give Curtin the nod, and it's mainly because of the accuracy. I've seen more consistent play from the quarterback position from Keshawn Curtin. Wesley David isn't a bad backup at all, but I mean, you could see he has 77 throw power, 67 throw accuracy. Not great, but actually better, a little better than David at 60. I believe he has 63 accuracy. So it's going to be a kind of a competition in camp, but I think Curtin has beaten him out, shown that he can play on the big stages. You know, late in games, he was showing that he can at least put together drives. So it's good to see him at starter. So now going to running back. So here's probably where I can't really go wrong. I have 2 big bruising running backs. Jimbo Brown is going to look a little different than last year. Remember last year we had kind of Cameron Yates was a bigger back too, but he can move a little bit. These guys are more driven towards power, and especially Jimbo Brown, 79 trucking, and that's probably the highest trucking we have on our whole squad. 6 foot 220. He's going to be the starter going into camp. He's been working hard in the offseason. He's put on about 15 pounds. And then Javier Garcia is actually 6'2", 221. So, I mean, they're pretty similar as far as build. Javier Garcia isn't as strong as Jimbo Brown, but he's definitely going to get in. And then Keith Syracuse Jr. is probably going to be in on passing downs. He's got 87 speed, 86 acceleration. And with 70 carrying, he's going to be quite the guy who's going to be in on passing downs. He's going to be lined up at receiver, so watch out for him. Now, going over to receiver is interesting, but first, let's look at fullback, which Brett Mason is actually kind of a good running back. 80 speed, 81 acceleration. He can also block, so you might see him actually in on passing downs as well, because he's the best pass protector out of all of them. And if we're in a situation where we're not dumping it off to running backs and we need pass protection, you might see him, and he might get a little short yardage carries. You never know. So going over to receiver, we do have a transfer, Burnett. He's got to sit out a year, but he's got good speed, so I can't wait for him. But looking at our freshman here, Justin Johnson, you know, I had the choice. Should I redshirt him or not? But it's just too tempting. He's got 71 catching, 87 speed, which is pretty good, actually. One of the fastest receivers on our squad. 86 jumping, and he's just a solid receiver. And if you look at who's behind him, Sam Forbes is going to play in the slot in his junior year. He's ready to have a good breakout year, hopefully healthy this year. Amari Manuel goes into his senior season on the outside as well. But another guy we need to look at here is Angel Gonzalez. And Angel Gonzalez is an 84 speed, 87 excel guy. I can imagine him getting some carries and reverses. I don't know how much I'm going to involve him in the offense. We'll have to see, because he is an interesting guy. I don't know exactly what he's going to be right now. He's got decent speed, 84. But going into his redshirt freshman year, I'm looking for him to kind of show me what he's got. So moving over to tight end, Jack Kleck, a tight end sophomore transfer from a JUCO. If you look at him right now, he's okay. He's 76 speed. He's got 3 more seasons left, and he's got 80 catching. So he's going to have the most reliable hands on the team, and hopefully that carries over to the young freshman tight ends, the young tight ends we have behind him. And it looks like Byron Dunlap, we're going to redshirt him as a freshman, but we do have Max Moriarty in his junior year, and Cameron Dixon. They both are going to back him up. So looking on the offensive line, we're actually going with a new starter at guard, Adong Okan, and he's a pretty good guard, to be honest. 76 run block, 77 impact block, only 65 pass block though. So in his sophomore year, I'm looking for him to step up and be a cog in the running game. So we'll see. And then moving over to right guard, Kareem Lakes. Kareem Lakes is actually going to be a pretty good starter going forward. I started him a little bit last year, but this year he's going to be the full-time starter at right guard. And then looking at right tackle, Gale is still the starter. But at center, we do have a new starter, Holden McGroin. And Holden McGroin is going to be a pretty good run blocker. He's got 69 run blocking, 71 impact block. But he's got 82 excel, so I'm hoping for him to push the pile with 74 strength. But we'll see. Our offensive line is going to need it. We got the power run game going, and let's see how it goes this season. So Danny Armstead at left end, he's 62 overall. He's going into his junior year. He's got 85 excel. So hopefully moving him back to left end now, he'll get more of a pass rush because he didn't make many sacks last year. And he kind of did cleanup duty as a good run stuffing guy. And we'll see how he does in the pass. So going over to right guard is interesting, or right end. Jalen Joe is a senior. He's 6'1", 262. He's a pretty good strength guy, 77 strength with 72 power moves and 70 finesse moves. But behind him, we have Peter Gonzalez. And Peter Gonzalez is a redshirt sophomore. He did not get in much last year, but he comes in with higher power moves than Jalen Joe, 76. So I think I'm going to have a good, healthy rotation of D linemen as we move over to defensive tackle. Alvin Jefferson is a senior. He's going to be on his way out just in time for Kenneth Ruff to come in next season as a redshirt junior transfer. So it'll be good to see him. And then Frederick Billups is going to continue his hard work. He had 7 sacks last year. Hopefully he leads the team this year. So going over to left outside linebacker, this is where it gets interesting. So Nigel Bolin is actually going to get the start at left outside linebacker. He's a guy that actually did not get in at all last year, but hopefully he'll be pretty good at rushing the passer. He has okay hit power, 75. Nothing too crazy, but I'm hopefully, he steps up big. So at middle linebacker, I mentioned it last season. At the end of last season, we're pretty thin here. If you look at Jamal Williams, he's a senior. A junior, Ryan Marshall, as well coming back. But Jamal Williams is just a solid senior guy. He's just instinctive. He knows what to do. Play recognition at 74. So hopefully he steps up because we're going to need a lot of help at middle linebacker going forward. We'll see how that shapes out. So moving over to right outside linebacker, Ian Hartman is actually going to start for us. A different guy here, kind of the same mold as Adam Pritchard last year, but he's got some football smarts to work on. Awareness only at 60. Play recognition at 63. Andrew Chapman is going to get redshirted behind him as a freshman, and maybe he's the guy that might move over to middle linebacker come next year. But then Eric Hughes is going to back up both the right outside and left outside linebackers. Hopefully he can step up a little bit as a sophomore. He's had a year to look behind the seniors last year, and maybe he can step up in a more predominant role. So come at corner this year, Orlando Norman's coming back for his sophomore year. We already know his record. Andy Lorenz is coming in for his senior season. He's going to be great in the slot. But on the outside, we're going to start Xavier Davis. And Xavier Davis, the reason why I'm starting him over a guy like Brandon Jones, the true freshman, is because he's just got pure coverage skills that are better than Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones is more of a tackling corner. He's definitely going to get in. Don't worry about that. He's going to get in. But Xavier Davis is going to start on the outside. So he's going to be on the left side of the field, and Norman's going to be on the right as usual. But Xavier Davis, what I like about him is that he has decent 71 man coverage, 74 zone, but he's actually got decent awareness too at 68. You would think that's pretty low, but actually for a corner, it's actually okay. Anthony Lorenz is smart in the slot. He's got 78 awareness, and that's why he makes a lot of plays on the field when they need to happen. And then the next year after that, Malik Great is going to be coming in as our highest rated corner. I imagine him playing on the outside come next year, but we'll see because Anthony Lorenz is graduating, so we're going to need somebody to step up this year. So looking at free safety, Darius Terry is going to come back starting at free safety. Zerzula is actually going to come in as probably a hybrid guy. I don't know exactly where he's going to play. He's not very good as a defender. I just found that out in some games that I played with him. But Alan King is interesting. So this is actually going to be our punt returner and kick returner to come this year. Zorzula just didn't do it for me last year. He comes in at 89 speed, which is actually our fastest guy on the team right now. And just be aware because he's going to be in on offense. He's got 66 catching, But, you know, he's going to be getting a lot of end arounds. He's going to get in on offensive 5 wides. So just watch out for him to be our first probably both ways player. He's going to play both sides of the ball. He's only 5'7", 160, so he's really small. So hopefully, you know, next offseason he puts on some weight. So moving over to strong safety, Cedric Granger, no surprise here. The captain of the defense is returning. One guy I am looking forward to, though, Sergi Rivera, and I didn't see him much last year. He has good zone coverage at 73 for a safety. He's got 85 jumping, meaning he can go after jump balls with tall receivers. It's going to be fun to keep up with them, and our defense is going to look interesting. I mean, a lot of new starters and a lot of new guys on the field for both sides of the ball. So looking at kicker here, we do have the true freshman Preston Lang, and he's going to come in with 71 kick power, 60 accuracy. Hopefully he can do his thing at kicker because we're going to need it. We didn't hit a lot of long field goals last year with Javier Dominguez at punter. He did a decent job at punting last year, I believe. Let's look at his stats here. He has down 5 inside the 20 actually last year, and 1 touchback. So not bad for his first year punting. I'm looking for him to kind of have a great year punting. We'll see how he does. But this is what the team is going to look like. You know, a lot of new players. Like I said, you're going to see Alan King on offense. You're going to see the new Jimbo Brown. He's going to be the power guy. We'll see how he does. Brett Mason's going to get in at running back. He's listed as a fullback, but he's going to get in at running back too. You know, it's going to be a lot of shifting and moving the offense. I can definitely see a lot of guys getting in at receiver since we're pretty thin there, and we probably only have 4 good receivers. And remember, Burnett, he's got to sit out. And then looking at running back, you know, Summers, he's got to sit out. So, I mean, we do have a bright future with these transfers, but we need to focus on now and this season ahead of us. And it's going to be no easy task with the schedule that we have. We know that our conference is getting better each week. So we just need to step up with some of these young guys, and hopefully they don't see the bright lights and they don't overreact. They don't make bad plays. So that's going to do it for this episode, man. What do you guys think of this new offense? Because next episode, we're getting it already started season 2. So you don't want to miss that one. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, because, man, this season is going to be better than ever. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.